What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 49 of Value Town. I'm ChanManV, joined today here by Reynad, of course, and our guest, Monk and Jab. Fresh from the NA championships, too. Welcome to the show, guys.
Yeah, welcome. I'm here today just to try to advance my quest to try to get Reynad to know me a little better.
Yeah, do you know where Monk is now, Reynad? I mean...
You met at TwitchCon?
Oh, no, we met at TwitchCon. Is that seriously the first? That's not the first time you guys met, right? No way, right? You guys met a million times, right? Okay, I was gonna say, God, I've been gone for a while, but I know I'm not that out of date. Well, we got a lot of things to talk about. It's obviously some huge news yesterday with a little bit of nerfing going on, as well as the BlizzCon NA championships that happened this past weekend. Going to do some card talk as usual, some deck talks, and we're going to introduce a new segment, which is Tink My Deck. It's one of these where the viewers sent in a few decks, and we're just going to give them a few advice, just a little bit of advice on how to make the decks a little bit better. And then at the end, there's going to be some Q&A as always. Post your questions here. I'm posting it to the chat right now, and we'll try to get to some of those questions. All right, well, let's kick things off with, let's talk a little bit about BlizzCon championships, and then we'll get to the big topic, which is the nerf. This happened this past weekend. Jab, obviously, congrats to you for making it to the semifinals and qualifying for BlizzCon. So that's going to be exciting. But Reynad, you casted too. So overall, guys, what'd you think of the event?
Personally, I liked it. It was one of the better run events that I've been to for Hearthstone. Everything about it was pretty much on point. The rehearsal day before it started on Thursday was a little rough, but aside from that, it ran pretty smoothly. Quick event. I was pretty happy with it.
Yeah, there weren't really any issues at all, which is surprising for a big event like that. And obviously it went well since I qualified.
Of course. Man, well, yeah. Monk, what'd you think?
I wasn't at the venue, but I think the Folsom place was really nice. It was a really nice venue. It had there was an audience available, but it was also very cordial. Everyone got to interact with the players. It wasn't a very official esports arena, but it was just casual, how Hearthstone could be.
Yeah, very laid back for sure.
So lots of interesting matches. Jab, you were part of at least the biggest finish, which was the match with Trump here. What'd you think about how are you feeling during that match, even leading up to the end there?
Well, I started the match 2-0, so I thought I was gonna go 3-0, but the mage was struggling to get a win, and then some crazy stuff happened that I guess we'll talk about.
Yeah, we can actually just show it here real quick. Let me. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, this happened in Game 5 at the end.
It is standard to play 2 right now, just because of how well it goes with the Emperor. Fireworks! Round number 3. Where are those missiles?
Yeah, so walk me through a little bit what you're thinking here.
It's a little bit unfortunate for Charlie.
Yeah. At this point of the game, I really didn't feel like I have a chance of winning, because I need runner, good top decks. His line of play he took was to set up the 2-turn lethal, which gave me the out of drawing fireball, which is probably incorrect, because if he just hero powers every turn, I have to rip 2 burn spells in a row. I already had played Dr. Boom and Ragnaros at that point, so I don't really have any threats that what he had in his hand right here couldn't contest. So,
yeah, Trump here again. He ends up playing the minion instead of hero powering and basically being out of range of your fireball ping there. You can kind of see it's a pretty tense moment too. And what I think he ended up tweeting later that he worked out the percentages, and it was basically something like an 80% chance that he could have won with his move, and then a 95% chance that he wins with the other move.
Did he actually calculate that, or?
No, he estimated it.
He probably estimated it, yeah. But yeah, so you can see the end here, guys. For those of you that missed it, it was the most exciting part of the weekend, in my opinion.
Yeah, I could have just drawn one of the 2 fireballs, but the way it happened made it like, more
Tracking.
crazy.
Spell Slinger into tracking into Fireball. Good old. Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
Yeah.
But-
A lot of people complain about this deck since it's basically Casino Mage. But I think Jab, you played like a version that was like the Casinoist of Casino Mages, like with 2 Spell Slingers, with a Grand Crusader, with Blingtron.
Yeah, it definitely has a lot more RNG cards, but I think they all have like some sort of merit.
Well, I guess we know. I was going to save it for our deck topic. Why don't we just jump to it because we kind of brought it up. It was a big topic of conversation. I know between players and even just folks that I was watching this with. So let me bring it up real quick. So the 2 decks that we're talking about, I have 2 decks that we're showing here. One was the one that you actually ran, and then one was I think the one that it was inspired by, which was from Root Relin. Is that
Roof Trellin?
Roof Trellin. Okay,
Yes.
I can't read very well. But there's obviously very unique cards in this deck. Some of them being, one of them being Grand Crusader, and the other one being Blingtron. So those are the 2, and Spellslinger too, to an extent, which obviously you ended up benefiting from in the Trump match. But explain those 2 cards, because a lot of people are like, I can't believe he's playing those 2 cards. I mean, it's actually ridiculous, crazy.
Yeah, so Roof Trellin, I've been talking to for a couple months. Like we always share decks with each other. He comes up with a lot of crazy stuff, I would say, and gets like top 10 with it, like consistently.
Mm-hmm.
Decks like that, Aviana Druid, etc. So Blingtron is kind of like more like a weapon removal card that also doubles as extra burst. Like it can just be a 5-mana Pyroblast sometimes.
Right. Actually, Ray, I remember you used to play Blingtron in some of your aggro decks.
Yeah, I was the first one to play it in the tournament, I think, and then I think I won that tournament. That was like one of the. I don't even remember what it was called. I want to say it was Battle of the Best.
Yeah.
But yeah, I played it in Mech Mage with Water Elementals. But that's a good card. It's kind of like you play it instead of Azure Drake because you draw like a 0-mana weapon and you sacrifice a bit of the stats. But yeah, it is super RNG, but really good with things like Snow Chug or Water Elemental. Even though this deck doesn't have those, it's still probably strong. I'm surprised there's like Grand Crusader instead of a second Azure Drake.
Yeah.
You're playing pistols in class.
Yeah. Explain Grand Crusader because I think that card surprised everybody.
It's just an extra card to fill out the curve, I guess, because if you didn't run that, then there'd be no 6-drops. So it's kind of played over Sylvanas and what's the guy that gives spare parts?
Toshly.
Toshly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can kind of compare it to those 2, I guess. Sylvanas in a Tempo Mage deck, I don't see too much implication for it because usually you just want to be ahead and have enough resources to finish out the game, which Sylvanas is kind of better when you're actually behind because it'll more likely get value if your opponent has more board than you, which is not what you want. You're probably losing at that point with Tempo Mage anyway. The Grand Crusader, yeah, it's comparable to Azure Drake, but it has extra stat points and bigger swings, I guess, because you can just get cards like Tyrion, Consecration, Edric, etc.
Have you tried the original version with the Flame Leviathan?
Yeah, that was like targeted towards the Secret Paladin meta on aggro on ladder. Actually worked pretty well.
Right.
Wow.
So this is the original deck that you modified to get your current deck, right? That you used at the regionals.
Yeah. So the couple cards that were added were Doctor Boom, which is kind of pretty obvious. Like it's dumb not to play that card. Like even if I was playing the Leviathan, I'd probably still run Boom in retrospect. And the Flame Cannon was targeted at Druids. Like Arcane Blast isn't too good when the meta is just Druid Handlock Patron. Like it's just a Flame Waker combo card at that point.
Ray, what do you think of this deck? What do you think of the Grand Crusader?
Like it. I think it's Grand Crusader's fun. I tried the card myself and it was good too. I have nightmares of getting one of the 1,000,000 secrets.
Yeah. Eye for an eye would really suck.
Yeah, I guess the spell slinger is what surprises me the most. I was only playing like one arcane intellect and one duplicate instead of two arcane intellect, so that scientists had more hits basically, and I found that was like plenty of three drops already. So this has like even more three drops. The spell slinger is a really hard card to evaluate. Like every time I look at it on paper, it looks so good, and then every
Right.
time I play with it, it feels a lot weaker. Just because they get to like use their spell first, and sometimes that really matters. But yeah, I don't know. Did you like spell slinger? Well, obviously you like spell slinger, but
Yeah,
it's the track thing. But
it's alright. Like on average, it's just decent, and sometimes you just steal free wins. Like in the esports arena tournament, I just like played on 3 and roll reincarnate and just like kill a Twilight Drake. So like I don't know. I like playing cards that have huge upside, and even at worst, it just gives you something to combo with Flamewaker, and you can discount it with Sork.
yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It's definitely not bad. It's more like the curve thing.
Yeah.
If it had like more stats and cost 4, I'd probably play it.
Well, it's definitely refreshing seeing this deck actually make it in, because watching the regionals, whether it was EU and NA, we saw a lot of the same decks from everybody. Not necessarily across the region. There was a little different distribution. I think Monkey could probably confirm that. Mr. Stat guy here, who always knows all the stats. But for the most part, yeah, it was getting a little bit monotonous seeing the same thing. So yeah, when you broke out that deck, I think at least you generated a bunch of conversation, which is always great. So leading up to BlizzCon now, like your training and stuff, what's your regimen like? Are you going to continue to come up with these kind of these decks that are pretty cool with these more inventive type of cards, or you're just kind of waiting to see, given that the changes that were announced yesterday?
Yeah, well, for sure I'll have to figure out something because the meta's about to change completely with the upcoming nerf. So yeah, I put together a practice group already, and we've already started talking. Gonna have a meeting tomorrow. Just grind everything out, and there's a lot of stuff to figure out, so I definitely need help like discovering the new meta.
Yeah, what is the process? Just getting basically a sample from everybody as to what they're seeing, and just trying to pull in a bunch of stats?
Yeah, the first week is just gonna be like grinding out ladder, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Well, congrats, buddy. Like definitely good luck, at the tournament. I do want to mention one thing that with Value Town is that, we had Tyson before he went, to EU Regionals, and he ended up winning EU Regionals. We had Purple on a week or two ago, and he ended up winning NA. So we're having you on now, Jab. So I don't know, maybe that bodes very well for you in a couple weeks, in a few weeks.
You just have to make sure not to play in any tournaments before BlizzCon.
That's right. You can't waste the karma that you built up here.
I
Right. Oh, go ahead.
I wouldn't mind winning something before BlizzCon.
Yeah.
Like, any tournament's fine. I don't have to win BlizzCon necessarily, but obviously
Wow. Really?
that'd be the best one. But yeah.
Okay.
I'd just like first place in something, since like it hasn't happened yet for me.
You've never won any? Really? You haven't won a tournament? Any community tournament or anything? Or online tournament?
I mean, I've won like open online tournaments, but not like a LAN or anything.
Right. Okay. Let's see. So Reynad, one of the things with the championships is, there was a Reddit thread that was basically talking how great your casting was, and I wanted to ask you. I noticed it too. Like I felt like, I always enjoy your casting, but I felt like you were on point. This past weekend too. Do you enjoy casting? Like, how do you take it? Because you're completely different when you're casting, like, than you are obviously when you're on your stream and things
yeah,
like
I made
that.
an effort to sound different.
Yeah.
I don't know. Most times that I've casted, it's pretty exhausting work, honestly. There's a lot of downtime to fill. All this stuff outside of the actual games gets to feel very monotonous. Like when you're casting in the games, it's enjoyable. For like high profile events, I think I do enjoy it more. Like I liked casting this last weekend. I didn't think I would like it that much, but I liked it more than I thought I would. So yeah, maybe I'll do it more. It's just, it's hard for me to like put that level of energy into like most casts. I tried to take the extra step because it was a Blizzard tournament. It's like the first time they wanted to work with me, so I didn't want to fuck
That
it up.
was. Oh, really? That was. I guess that was the first time. I didn't even think about that.
Oh yeah, you can't really. I mean, right? It makes sense. You can't like you can't work with like people who tell Amsterdam stories and stuff. It's like, but yeah, like
Right.
just the kind of the sad part about this though is if you look at it, this has like 2,000 upvotes, and like Purple winning the tournament, this huge, and like Jab
I know.
second year in a row. It just shows like where the priorities of the
Community.
I guess it's like they
Yeah.
don't focus on the tournament results as much, which isn't. It's not like a bad thing. It's just I wish that I wish it was like easier to get attention if you're not a streamer.
Yeah.
That scene would have a lot more variety.
And you know that's what we're trying to do here too. You know, in Value Town, and trying to have the guys come on, and Jab obviously coming on. This is the first time Jab's been on Value Town, which is great.
Yep.
Really, really cool. But I agree with you too. It's I kind of wish there was more attention drawn to you guys because it's a big moment. You know, it's a big moment for the folks that aren't popular streamers and trying to make a name for themselves. You know, it kind of happened for Firebat to a degree. You know, last year. I mean, he won the whole thing, and I mean, for me, it's like, why isn't he like one of the biggest streamers? You know, or at least close to that to some extent, and has. It kind of tells you that there's more to being a popular streamer than just being a good player. But at the same time, I think we could give some more attention to these guys. Monk, I mean, you've casted plenty of events too. Hard? What do you think casting just generally?
Yeah, it's pretty hard, but I think specifically with Reynad, you could, like Reynad mentioned that he put in extra effort to cast this tournament, and having watched Reynad's other cast and his Blizzard cast over the weekend, you could definitely tell. So I think it definitely showed Reynad.
Yeah, definitely good job there, man. Great work. Let's see. Anything else with the champion? Any other? Well, I mean, I should mention all the other players that made it. So Jab, Purple, Nias, and Hot Form all qualified for BlizzCon. Nias obviously being another guy that maybe a lot of folks in the community don't know about. It's really great to see him do well too. He's been a good player for a while. And Hot Form, a lot of people have seen his stream. He's been really kind of rising up and doing well in BlizzCon. Is definitely helping with that too. So really props to those guys too. It'll be great to see them at BlizzCon.
Yeah.
But that wraps things up for regionals. I think everything is good to go, and it's just a matter of just getting all the players over to BlizzCon. And I think Monk, you were mentioning that the event actually starts before the BlizzCon itself, so the players will be playing most of the matches up until close to the finals, pre-event.
Yeah,
Right.
it's BlizzCon will be, I believe, like October or November 7th and 8th, but the actual event, like the round of 16, will start beforehand, which will be pretty exciting. It will be pretty much similar to what happened last year, where we got to see some like precursor matches, but unfortunately not everyone will be able to actually perform on the BlizzCon stage.
That's too bad. Like I was hoping that we'd see a ton of matches on the stage again. The stage was so impressive last year. That's one of the things I missed about not going to Value Town, is actually getting a chance to see that stage live. But I'm sure it'll be impressive again this year.
Yeah.
And hopefully again, Jab, you'll be there. You'll be there, getting a chance to experience that live.
Oh yeah. One thing I wanted to mention was Nias's run, like to get to BlizzCon, was pretty crazy. Like he won all the way through Last Chance, lost in round 1 of the 40-man, and then won through the loser bracket. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I wanted to say, if you look at everyone else, I'm hearing a little bit of reverb from you, Reynad, I think.
Oh, sorry.
If you look at everyone besides Nias in the EU and NA regions, it feels like they're all the players who people have been hyping up. Like I feel like Purple is kind of like the Osaka of NA, where everyone's saying like he's such a great player, like why hasn't he won something?
Yeah.
And you see now that he indeed has won something now. Just like it's just a long time coming, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, he was always a big part of the Archon team. It's just a lot of people, I don't think, realized, just his contribution to that team. And he didn't perform that well in some of the bigger events recently too. So yeah, I think that might have had a little bit to do with that too, Monk. Because he didn't win, right? He hasn't won an event since. He hasn't won an event, right? An Atlanta event at all.
Yeah. He did well in like PvP Live League, but besides that, like, not really any big major wins.
Right. Yeah. So, anyways, great opportunity for these guys, and again, hopefully we'll get a chance to see who comes out the victor out of all of them. Okay, next topic. Let's move on, and it's the big topic that everybody, I'm sure, has been talking about the last 12 hours or so, maybe 24 hours, and that is the nerf to the Warsong commander. Let me show you the exact announcement from the Blizzard team. And Warsong commander now reads: your charge minions have +1 attack. So the point of this obviously was to nerf the Grim Patron deck that a lot of people have been talking about for months and months now. And this accomplishes that, that's for sure. I don't think there will ever be that type of Grim Patron combo-ish deck, at least the original version of it. But I want to get your thoughts on just the change. Well, I guess the nerf to Grim Patron, I mean, is it good or bad in your opinion? And is this change actually good? Reynad, I'll have you start with it.
They didn't nerf this because of Grim Patron. There's nobody like with more data than Blizzard employees, and that nobody more than Blizzard employees was telling people how bad Patron was. Patron is not that broken. There is like a single-digit number of players in the world that can play it at a broken win rate, but the fact that like rank 15 players are circle jerking about how broken it is on Reddit just like upset me so much. Because none of them could win a game with it, and you know that. It's like, I don't know. They didn't do this because they were nerfing because they wanted to nerf Patron. They did it because they can't print cool like low attack minions as long as Warsong is in the game. Like this, right. There's always going to be something. Like Grim Patron's a really cool card. It's really interesting design, and they can't like it stops them from designing cards like that in upcoming expansions as long as this is around. So I think that's why they nerfed it mostly.
Monk, what's your initial thoughts?
Yeah, I have to agree. Like, it's the similar problem to what happened when, I don't know if you guys remember the Molten Giant deck where you could just charge Molten Giants and panda them. They nerfed Warsong Commander back then, but they're coming out with like the same problem that they are now. It's kind of similar to why like Auctioneer was nerfed, because they can't print, like Reynad said, they can't print like any cool like low mana spells for Rogue in the future. It just buffs up that card too much. Just like looking at the nerf, like whether we disagree or agree with the nerf, like if they indeed wanted to like appeal to like the casual players to prevent people from like posting these kind of like epic shots, or I don't know if epic is the right word, but like all these like OTK moments with Frothing Berserkers, it changes like the entire like BlizzCon format, and I don't think necessarily for like the better. It's kind of like what we saw from the APAC region where like very few people were playing Patron and everyone was playing tempo decks. I just feel like Patron is like one of those decks that like it's different from all the other decks, whereas like you have Druid, you have like Secret Paladin, you have Tempo Mage, like they all like want to accomplish the same goal, whereas Patron is like the deck that like everyone's kind of secretly wants. It's the deck that takes a lot of skill, only a few players can play it, and like the win conditions are like so unique and they're like different versus every single archetype in every single class.
Right, Jab, your opinion?
I'm a huge fan of the nerf. It's gonna mix things up a lot for BlizzCon, which I think is actually a good thing for the viewing experience, and to see how players like can adapt. Like we only have a couple weeks to figure out the meta, and I don't like the way they changed it, however, because they basically just removed the whole deck from the game. I think you could have just like toned down the power level a bit, maybe on just like Emperor or Warsong or whatever. I don't know what exactly they could tone down, but
yeah, I mean, go ahead, Chad. Sorry.
I'm not a huge fan of them just like removing the entire deck from the game. Like it was even seen less play recently. Like 2 out of 8 players at the NA Regionals brought it.
How'd they do?
I mean, they got first and second. But yeah.
All right, well, let's talk about the specific change. So, I think we kind of got a good read from, I guess how you feel about just changing the deck altogether. But this particular change, I totally get what you mean by it limits design capabilities. But I think this change, what they did, basically just removes the card. I mean, is anybody going to play Warsong Commander anymore with this text? Can
you
you
said,
think of anything? Can you think of any kind of deck that where this would be, heck, better than a raid leader? Is it?
It's not.
Well,
I don't see it.
yeah. Go ahead, Reynad.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I was just gonna say, man. I think general consensus they nerfed it a little too hard. I wish they kind of used this as an opportunity to buff like arena warriors, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe make it just like a 3/4 with some words. But yeah, a little bit unfortunate. They just kind of remove it from the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
How much?
Like,
Oh, go ahead, Mark.
well, I saw the argument on Reddit was like, if like you might as well play 2 raid leaders before 2 war songs, and you might as well play 2 direwolf alphas before the 2 raid leaders. So, like when you're deck building, like this would be like if you wanted 5 direwolf alphas, you would put one of these in your deck, and if you have like 2 direwolf alphas and 2 raid leaders in your deck, that's not enough charge minions to actually like make a charge deck. So like you would pretty much never play Warsong, and it's not even like the buzzard treatment where like Jab, you actually used buzzard in the Americans Championship to great effect.
Yeah, it won me a game. I drew 2 cards off Unleash and 2 off of trading my high main.
Yeah,
That's pretty sick.
it's not even like where you can just get a buzzard off of web spinner and just like win the game from there.
Yeah.
Well, the buzzard nerf was based. I mean, their reasoning for that had a lot to do with value too. Like, you know, they were judging how much the card draw value was, and they felt like 5 mana was the proper place for it. You know, I can understand that a little bit more. This is kind of crazy. I wish they would have just completely redirected the text here, but I'm thinking they might have been limited by the lore of the Warsong Commander. I don't actually know. Like, does it have to be charged? Like, do you guys know the lore well enough to know if they would be forced to do that? It would have been cool to see maybe something that helps, like a bolster deck or something like that. You know, something that they could help cultivate instead of just literally removing it.
I think like I don't know too much about the lore, but like the Warsong clan's like an aggressive clan. They're the clan that Grom Hellscream is from.
Oh, okay, right.
So like Grom has charge. I don't know.
Yeah.
To that extent.
Yeah, maybe that's the reason. But yeah, this card, I don't see them. I don't see them changing it again, because they typically don't do that. But it's definitely clear that when they make a change, it's after doing a ton of research and waiting. The original reason for the not changing anything to do with the patron deck was just to see if people could adapt and figure out a solution, an organic solution, right? So when they do make a change here, it's obviously for future reasons, and I think you guys touched on it, which is the design. Just being an issue. They could have, one thing they could have done is it's kind of similar to what they did with Molten, but just a degree is just only allow charge for minions that, start with, like if they make it like an aura. So if they ever get higher than 3, then they don't have charge anymore.
And all those fixes, all those fixes assume that the reason they're nerfing it is because they think Patron is broken. Blizzard does not think Patron is broken. Like, why would they do that and just have it be broken with the next Grim Patron type card that comes out?
Yeah.
But even with a low drop, is it that bad to have it charged? Can you think of crazy?
The current cards, no, but in the future, it's got to be something that it's stopping.
Okay.
There's no charge card in the game that hasn't seen play. Rocketeer I played in beta.
Yeah. Okay. That's true. Yeah, charge is definitely I wouldn't say problematic, but something that they have to work around. Stealth too. I think both of those things are difficult things to design around. But okay, well, the meta's gonna change. What have you guys seen even in the last 24 hours? You guys played the ladder much?
I've actually seen more Patron Warrior because people are trying to play it before the change.
Oh well, yeah, okay, that makes sense. I guess we won't know until it actually officially comes out. When's the date on it? Did they announce the date that it was?
Sometime next
week. Next week.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What do you anticipate? At least with the current meta, like what decks are gonna Secret Paladin, that kind of thing, or?
Yeah, both variants of Paladin for sure.
Yeah.
Zoo might come back a bit.
That was the weird thing for me. Is Zoo was the deck that was performing the best over the last month and a half, because I felt like Patron always had a hard time against Zoo. At least like the Void Caller one. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
I haven't played the matchup too much.
Yeah.
Zoo was winning no matter which side I was playing, so I think it was good for Zoo. But yeah, like whatever beats Paladin, not sure what's best against it.
I guess Face Hunter may come back a bit because its worst matchup is probably Patron.
Yeah. I think what most people are predicting is that like Druid will still be like the #1 deck that everyone brings to tournaments.
Yeah.
That'll be fun, obviously. And then we have Paladin, which people are predicting to be like the next best deck to come out because Patron is nerfed. And then everything will center around those two decks. Like you're trying to counter those two decks. Whereas maybe the meta before was trying to counter Druid and Patron.
Yeah.
I think Druid was already #1, like even before the nerf. Like just everyone brings it to their Conquest lineup.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so solid. I mean, it's pretty hard to direct counter a Druid these days or just have a crazy winning percentage against it. The timing of the change, right before BlizzCon, we saw this kind of thing last year too with Leroy. I believe it was nerfed around this time. I know it kind of mixed things up for BlizzCon, which is great for just viewers and fans and everything. But for players and fairness, what do you guys think about that? I mean, do you think this is a good? I mean, it's a good move to do this, given that the players have gotten to where they've gotten with just the old meta. Ray, what's your thoughts? Oh, can't hear you, buddy.
Sorry about that. My thoughts about whether this change is actually like
just
good.
The timing of the change. Just changing right before like the big event. And
I'm always a fan of that. Like honestly, most of the time, the players that perform best in tournaments are the ones that happen to be playing like 12 hours a day for the couple weeks leading up to it, because then they get like a perfect view of that meta within that time frame. And then I like when people are forced to change it up, I guess, and it'll create more variety. There were a lot of changes, for example, I think before the last BlizzCon top 16, if I remember right. I don't remember what changed, but stuff, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think it was Leroy, right? Leroy was the big one.
It was the Leroy nerf, and funnily enough, Firebat still brought Miracle Rogue and won.
Yeah. It wasn't just Leroy though. Wasn't it like Soulfire 2 or something like that?
Oh, that's right. Soulfire
right,
became
yeah.
1. Yeah, 1 mana. That's right.
Yeah. So, that was like interesting because there was a ton of variety in that tournament. Because we had to play the week after that patch went live, or sorry, the day after that patch went live. There were 2 days that patch was live online, and I was flying during all of it, and the Europeans got to play. I remember I was mad about that, but yeah. Anyway, that really made a lot of variety like happen. Like all the decks were really different. Mr. Yagi was playing multi-shot or something, and
Oh, that's right.
saw like some really weird miracle decks. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, double brawl. Yeah, I kind of remember like the multi-shot. Oh my gosh, I totally forgotten about that. Monk, what do you think?
About
Just the
changing
changes,
it.
changing it last minute, and
Obviously, like we saw on Twitter yesterday, some of the Europeans especially were mad because
yeah,
like they're the players known for playing Patron, Osaka especially, but also of course there's life coach Naria is also one of the big Patron players, and Tice has been like really learning it up lately. So one of the jokes is basically that NA got buffed, and as we can see in other esports games, like the NA always needs the help, right?
ouch, Monk, man, that's shots fired there. Jab, what do you think?
I actually wish they made balance changes more often because I feel like that's one of the main advantages of having an online card game over a physical card game.
Right.
It's like
Yeah,
just forcing players to innovate. Like probably 80% of the skill in Hearthstone is just like deck building and card choice and stuff. So yeah, forcing players to adapt and innovate is gonna pull out the more skilled deck builders and players more often than not.
all right.
Yeah, it's tough though because they can't make changes like every weekend. So as soon as one guy innovates and makes that good deck, and it's like everyone just gets to play it. So
Right.
Yeah.
So
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you know, again, it'll be great to see what what kind of changes we see in the next week or so, and just again, people trying to figure out just some cool ways to evolve the meta here.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to it's our Tavern Brawl segment. Tavern Brawl always starts like literally when the show is, so I figured we would. I'm assuming that none of you guys have seen the Tavern Brawl yet, except for maybe Monk. So why don't we just take a quick look at it real quick? Just kind of a fun thing, given the timing of the show. I think it just would maybe make sense to take a look. I heard it's crazy though this week.
Yeah, we saw Ekahop was like tweeting some pictures. We saw like turn 1 mysterious challenger.
Oh my god.
That's pretty good.
What? Okay.
What are the rules?
I don't know. That's what we're gonna see right here. You guys can observe, right? Let me see.
No.
You mean in game?
In game, right? I guess if we started. I don't know if maybe we shouldn't play a game.
No, let's play one. Sure.
You want to play one? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, add me real quick. It's ChanManV 1999.
I can't spectate on this laptop.
Oh, you can't? Oh, darn. Okay.
I can watch the stream though.
Yeah. There we go. Okay, so this Tavern Brawl is Randomonium. An encounter at the crossroads under a mana storm. Choose a class, get random cards. Each turn your cards cost are randomized. Randomized cost cards. Okay.
Interesting.
Should be. Alright, what class are we playing, guys?
I'm trying to think. What is the most expensive?
Yeah,
things?
that's probably a good thing to start. Let's see, Mage has some expensive legends.
Probably priest, right?
Yeah, priest.
Yeah, Priest. Priest has some. Alright, let's go Priest. Alright, starting this up. Let me add you guys. Where are you guys?
Actually, warlocks.
Oh,
always
actually,
good
you guys
for
already
priest.
you already guys have me. Yeah, Warlock.
Because you just get a tap into more terrible cards. So it's like,
Oh, that's true. That's true. And there's Jiraxis and.
This is just the most RNG Tavern Brawl ever.
Yeah.
Oh, Priest versus Priest. Here we go. Oh, mind control. Wait, I thought it was randomized.
Yeah, but you're okay. Mind control. It's like a random
What?
value. It's a random cost. Maybe you don't get to see the actual cost until you mulligan it.
Oh, this is a big deal, man. Like,
I'll keep the mind control.
we should keep the mind
It can only
control.
get cheaper.
So we thought
That's
we thought
true.
this is like a very RNG brawl, but it's like even more RNG.
I know,
pretty
it's
sure
even
you-
more like, whoa, what's going on here? All right, we'll keep the mind control. Let's see what happens here.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you only want expensive cards, right?
What, does it change right when it goes in here? Oh, 7, okay. Oh, Confessor failed trip. Oh my god, faceless.
Is that even good though? Because we have to like wait till turn 4 to play it almost.
If we had the coin, it'd be amazing. Oh my god, we had the coin. He's sick.
Yeah, I'm actually like not too big of a fan of these kind of tavern brawls. I think
Yeah.
Reynad last week mentioned like his favorite, which is also my favorite tavern brawl, was the bananas one. Oh my god.
Yeah, it was really hard to play.
Wait,
Oh god, it changes every turn.
oh, it changes every turn. Wait,
Heal yourself in case you have Frost Giant.
Yeah. It's actually a misplay these days. Not to,
wait, so
like, heal
everything
yourself.
else went back to its original cost.
No, I think they're just switching around. It's like
Yeah.
being randomized.
Okay, that's kind of.
Or it's like a, from what I see, it's like a 50% chance for it to like be a random cost.
Oh, I see. Oh, that's really.
A random chance of
How many
random,
fingers do you see?
random stuff.
Oh, here we go. All right.
Ooh,
Wait.
Ooh.
this gets hard. You can make 2 Hemmets. I think you're supposed to copy Holy Champion. You could.
Yeah,
I think
we
you
could-
should get
yeah.
Faceless out of your hand, right? Like
Yeah.
while you can.
I must consider.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Copy and Hemet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I guess you just want to play like the cards that are discounted for that turn.
So that's 2 times now. Mind control's only made it to 7. See, if there's
It'll be
a.
1 eventually.
Yeah, exactly. When their Confessor comes down, or when their whatever legend, giant legend, Valen comes down.
You might actually have to like pay attention to the, like what your opponent mulligan for. If it's like priest versus priest, like they'll probably keep the mind controls.
Assuming they have them, right?
I've noticed like I think this is similar to like when you randomize your entire deck and you get a higher chance of getting the class cards.
Oh, I see. Why would he copy Hammett?
And also we have no idea like if it copies the cost at all. Probably not.
Ooh, Shadow Form.
Shadow Form is pretty good.
That sounds pretty good. Shadow Form Cultist, what do you guys think?
Yeah. I think even like with what we know now, it might have been a good idea to keep Shadow Form in the opening hand.
Yeah. I mean, Shadow Form can be 10 mana too, right?
Yeah, but like it keeps switching, so there's a good chance that you'll get like a 1 mana Shadow Form.
All right.
And Shadow Form, if it like costs 1 mana, it's pretty good.
All right, so we'll go Shadow Form Dark Cultist. Cool?
I wonder.
All right.
Yeah.
We agree.
The damned stand ready.
Does this hurt?
So my control's alternated between 7 and 10 now.
But the Peltress has changed costs.
Yeah.
This is like probably the most tryhard anyone has tryharded in this Tavern Brawl.
Of course. Well, you're here, man. Of course we're gonna try hard. Amongst the try hard, man. All right.
Try harder in the most casual tavern brawl ever.
Exactly right.
All right, we're going Confessor.
All right, we can do Confessor now.
Take this time to consider your
All right, see what we get.
Let's get you, Sarah.
Oh, that doesn't sound good. Oh no.
My fate is
The Blingtron.
All right, we'll take it. We'll take it.
Oh man, we gotta live a turn, man. Oh, we can't hear you, Ray.
Are there any legendaries or drawbacks?
Drawback? What do you mean?
Lord Walker Cho, kind of.
Oh, they're bad ones. Yeah. Yeah, Lord Walker Cho is not a good one for sure. Any others?
Major Domo
It's one of the
Executus.
ones.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah.
Acid Maw is terrible too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's the one. I've gotten that off of Confessor before.
Yeah, the smite.
Smalls won me a lot of games, actually.
Oh,
Oh, get it. That's actually like a.
that in.
That's one with a drawback. I think.
I mean, it's not too bad. Get
Oh,
it.
1 mana mind control.
I don't
know
think
if
we should do that
I
though.
don't know if we want that. Yeah.
Yeah, you should
Yeah.
should kill her. You should play like Nullifier, I guess. Well, you might get Caballed. Maybe it's better to buff the other cultist. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm overthinking it.
I think there's a good
Just
chance
have
he's got
Cabal.
Cabal.
Yeah.
Let's just go Cultist. Jab, you cool with that?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
The damned stand ready.
Alright, here we go. Yeah, there's gotta be a good shot there's a Cabal in one of these decks. Arcane Nullifier. Pretty lucky. He's pretty lucky to get a Baron out of the
How many
non-class
fingers do
cards.
you see?
Yeah, I wonder if it's like bad to mind control first.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what Monk was saying, right?
You shall not.
Oh, that's not a good one. That makes up for the Baron.
What are the odds of him getting a mind control? Or not too high.
Alright, what do you guys think?
It's hard. I might Shadow Madness the Shield Bearer. It's not pretty, but
And remove the Holy Champion?
yeah, because otherwise, like, you're playing a Trog. You're just gonna feed him minions otherwise.
Yeah, I think.
So we're still playing around the Shadow Priest.
Alright, so
This
Shadow
feels
Madness?
pretty bad.
Everybody good?
Yeah, sure. Feels really bad.
My fate is sealed.
We play Trog or no?
Yeah,
Okay, making sure.
Drag no stupid.
it's too bad we drew it though.
Yeah. It's true.
But he had some bad cards too.
Whelps, the dragon egg is okay, but yeah, the bear is terrible.
I like how this game came down to Palishers too, which is not exactly the most skill intensive card.
Mm-hmm.
But
It still dies in a single turn, even if we play it on turn 4 or turn 5 or whenever we played it. Oh god.
there you go. Now we can kill Shield Bear.
Again? I forget call this out. That's 4 cycle events. Oh, okay, 6 from our cards.
Yeah, steal it.
That's a good one to take.
Steal it before Dispel.
Steal
Well,
Valen.
The Shield Bearer.
Yeah, steal the shield bearer. Mind control that.
Alright,
Do
Steal
it for
Valen,
Twitch
right?
chat.
Okay, here we go.
And then play Dispel. Let's see what you get.
Here we go. Ugh.
That's fine. Yeah, Nullify or Hero Power, I think. Or maybe Blood Mage is better, actually. Because then you get to play 2 cards next turn.
Alright, just go face, or should I clear the board a little bit?
I would Hero Power the 2/4. No, just go face. Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing I can really buff these guys, right? And Priest.
Oh, it's random decks.
Yeah, well, I guess it could be, yeah, Defender. It could be some Argus and
Abusive.
Fine.
Tournament.
Solid card. Oh, you both have Hemets.
No, he copied. He took a. Didn't he?
No, yeah. He mind
copied
visions
it,
our Hermit.
or converted
Oh.
or whatever it was.
So lucky.
Oh, look at that.
Oh man.
Oh. Is that
I mean, it
real?
doesn't actually do much here.
Yeah, just trade in the Blood Mage into the 1/8, I think. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
Oh, over.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
All right, just do it.
Yep.
See what happens.
My fate is
Remove this guy, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's lucky. He didn't draw Mind Control, he did.
Yeah, exactly. He got that extra legend though. All right, looks like we're gonna get our first win then. The Holy Champions were pretty good though.
Yeah.
In the light.
Yeah, it's. This was a pretty slow game, probably because it was Priest versus
Yeah,
Priest.
Priest
but,
versus Priest was probably.
I think in general these games go much faster because like you do have the potential to get just like huge blowout plays in like the first few turns.
Yeah, totally. Well, all right. Well, that's the Tavern Brawl for this week. Kind of fun, kind of crazy fun. But give it a try, guys. And I guess there'll probably be lots of crazy screenshots like Ecop's screenshot that we saw. But that's Tavern Brawl for you, that's for sure. Okay, guys, we're gonna take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll talk some cards, maybe a deck or two, and then we'll start that Tink Your Deck segment in just a sec. So hang tight. Oh, a reminder, we have a Patreon just to support the show, so check that out, patreon.com/valuetown. Big thanks to all the patrons so far, which we'll see in just a second. And, really appreciate that, and helps the show continue to go on for hopefully years to come. All right, be right back.